Our review of the Honda Civic Type R for the touring car class. I'm a little torn on this one because it's close, but the problems with it are the same that nearly every full steering wheel car has, in that the top of the rim gets in the way of the shift light. So I'm sitting now far enough back and low enough that I can just see them. And I feel like I'm too low, especially for a touring car where I would expect to be sort of more around here, where you would sit in your own car, maybe a little bit lower than that, but not all the way down that I can't see any of the bonnet. And that's where you kind of have to sit for this, and you can't really place your car as easily as when you're up around the 4.5 centimeter mark. The other problems are that that mesh gets in the way of the left mirror. The rear view mirror is actually really good. The visibility at the back, because it's a normal family car, is pretty good. The mirror is just so wide and concave that your head's in it all the time. And because they don't model any head movement, it takes you out of being in the VR space, and your brain's got to try and sort of compensate for seeing your own helmet most of the time. The rest of it, look, the dash is great. I love that big blank spot to put your relative, or any other of your black boxes. The place up there with the black for your virtual mirror, if you do turn that off for performance, I'd probably recommend that, because that's just so distracting, and your virtual mirror up there has got a really nice home. It's just that if we shift it into gear and look for some shift lights, I mean, they're just not there. You just cannot see them. Now you can duck down to where they are, but I've already lost the apex of that corner. There, it's gone. I can't see over there, whereas if I'm high enough, I can spot it more easily and place the car. Now what you can do, of course, is use the digital revs that are shown there, work out, let me try and get it to red line, work out where it wants to change. So you're at 6.5. It would be better to do this on straight. The 7 is too much. 6.5 it wants to change. And yeah, just sit up here, ignore the fact that there are shift lights there, and just look for 6.5 on there. But shift lights make things easier, so you're kind of missing out on that. The rest of it, it's probably a little bit too low, with this cross beam up there. That's just nitpicking. I think I just like to sit a little bit higher in touring cars, and it just isn't really made for that with the big full wheel and where those shift lights are. Other than that, I appreciate the lack of stuff in here. It doesn't have to draw all of that. The rest of the roll cage is quite good. It's got a thin pillar there, so you can see quite well to the left, apart from, of course, this big mesh. So yeah, my main problem, and it'll be common thread for nearly all of the full steering wheel cars, is that I can't see through there without either being very low, or the other solution is to be way back. You can see that's too far back for the model. That's about the extent of it. And then you can, 1.5, 2 centimeters, you can just see them through there, but you got no chance of seeing the front of your car. And from back here, all the rotations of the car always feel wrong to me. There's, I like about that distance, feels and looks like arm's length to me, and for that to work, you've got to ignore the shift lights and just go with what's on there. I'm flogging a dead horse. It's the same. That's going to be the same argument for everything with the full steering wheel. That doesn't give you the dash display on the wheel itself, but I don't know how to get around it in VR, and I have not purchased cars purely because of this. In fact, I'm not running in the touring cars, even though I kind of like their front wheel drive craziness, because I can't find anything that that does that for me. I mean, have a look at the review of the Hyundai the Elantra, because it does have a cutout steering wheel, and I prefer that. There are other flaws with that car, but cutout steering wheel or sticking the dash and the display on the wheel are other ways to circumvent the problems of having a full steering wheel. Enough rambling on this one. We'll do another little corner in it. Get it up around this hill. Turn on all of the things that you might have on. Yeah, that dash is beautiful. The ability to see the relatives so clearly, so close to where you're looking anyway, is so helpful. Let's turn it in here. It's a big windscreen, like it's not too raked, so you've got quite a lot of real estate to look out. And when you're sitting up this high, you've got a good sense of where the front of the car is. I mean, it's a touring car. It should be able to be placed, especially then with that front wheel drive, to pull it through a turn, to get it sliding and then yank it through with the throttle. It's just if you're relying on shift lights, they're down there somewhere.